my channel Learn, Grow and Rise. Hope all are well. Today's video is all about chemical bonding. In my previous video of chemical bonding, we have already discussed the causes of chemical bonding and how many types of chemical bonds are present. And in today's we mainly focus on ionic bonding or electrovalent bonding. So let's start. In ionic bonding or electrovalent bond, we will discuss introduction, definition, example, electrovalency and properties of ionic compounds. So let us know what is electrovalent bond or ionic bonding. The bond formed by electrostatic attraction between the cation and anion formed by complete transfer of electron or electrons from one atom to other atom is called ionic bonding or electrovalent bonding. So, what is ionic bonding? The ionic bonding, the bond present between the cation and anion. That's why children, the name comes the ionic bonding. Why it is ionic bonding? Because the bond is present between the ions. Between the ions means first what type of ion? Between the cation and anion. What is ion? Children, you know when atom lose or gain electrons, it is known as ion. There are two types of ions. One is a positive ion formed by loss of electron and negative ions formed by gain of electron. So, then we know that always the opposite charges attracts towards each other. Why they attract and how they attract? Because when opposite charges come closer, there is a force of attraction established between them, and the name of the force of attraction is electrostatic force of attraction. So, is the electrostatic force of attraction present between what type of force of attraction? That is the electrostatic force of attraction is electrostatic force of attraction established between the oppositely charged particle. It is known as the electrovalent bonding. So, what is ionic bonding or electrovalent bonding? The bond established or the force of attraction that is present between two oppositely charged ions. And how the ions are formed? The ions are formed by complete transfer of electron or electrons. Is known as the ionic bonding. Let us discuss few examples. The first example is sodium chloride formation. Sodium chloride consists of sodium atom and chlorine atom. Let us discuss about the electronic configuration of sodium atom. Sodium atomic number is 11. It consists of 11 protons and 11 electrons. And the electronic configuration is 281. Chlorine atom consists of 17 proton and 17 electron because the atomic number is 17. So the electronic configuration is 287. Now we know that all atoms they want to attain the noble gas configuration either by losing its electron or by gaining the electron. So if you see the electronic configuration of the sodium atom, if the sodium atom lose one electron, it can attain the electronic configuration of your near. And if the chlorine atom gain one electron, it can attain the electronic configuration of the argon. Now, let us know what happens during the formation of the sodium chloride. In this combination, one atom of the sodium transfers one outermost cell electron and become positively charged ion. Why? The electronic configuration of sodium is 281. If it loses its one electron, it attains the electronic configuration of neon and it forms the Na plus ion. Now, one atom of the chlorine gains that electron to complete its octet and become the chloride ion. Now, the electronic configuration of chlorine is 287. So, when it gains that 2 electron, then what will happen? It will form the Cl minus ion and it attains the electronic configuration of the argon. Now, there is a two oppositely charged particle Na plus and Cl minus. The Na plus and Cl minus hold together by the force of attraction, and the nature of the force of attraction is electrostatic in nature. Hence, the type of the bond present is your ionic bond because the bond or the force of attraction exists between two ions, and it also known as the electrovalent bond because that is the force of attraction is electrostatic in nature. Now let us discuss few more examples. One is a formation of the aluminium nitride. Aluminium nitride is formed between the Al plus 3 and N minus 3. Calcium oxide. Calcium oxide is formed between the Ca plus 2 and O minus 2. Magnesium oxide, it is the force of attraction exists between Mg plus 2 and O minus 2. Now, let us know what is electrovalency. Electrovalency is the number of electrons which an element loses or gains during the formation of the ionic bond. Let us take the example of sodium chloride. In sodium chloride formation, sodium atom lose one electron and form Na plus ion. So the electrovalency of sodium is equal to 1. Like this, in case of the calcium oxide, the calcium atom lose 2 electrons to form Ca plus 2 ion. Hence, the electrovalency of calcium is 2. In case of the calcium oxide, oxygen atom gains 2 electrons to form the oxide ions. Hence, the electrovalency of the oxygen atom is 2. Now, what are the conditions for the formation of the ionic bonds? The first condition is the large electronegativity difference. If the electronegativity difference is greater than 2, then the type of bond formed is the ionic bond. So the first condition is there must be a large electronegativity difference. Next is the low ionization potential. If the ionization potential of one atom is very low, it can easily lose its electron and form the positive ion, and hence it can form easily the ionic bond, or it can easily take part in ionic bond formation, because in the ionic bond formation we need one positive ion and another is a negative ion. Hence, to easy formation of the positive ion, we know that the ionization potential must be very low. Now, next is your high electron affinity. Atom with high electron affinity can easily gain the electron. So, we need the anion in the ionic bond formation. Hence, the more easily the anion will form, the more favorable for the ionic bond formation. Hence, another condition is the high electron affinity. High electron affinity favors the formation of the anion, and low ionization potential favors the formation of the cation. Now, let us know the tricks to identify the ionic compound. The first trick is that if you'll see there is a bond between a metal and non-metal with high electronegativity differences. Now, how can you know the electronegativity difference is high? So we cannot remember the electronegativity value of each and all elements. So that's why if you see the group number, you can easily remember the group number. The elements of group 1, 2, 3, when combined with the element of the 5, 6 and 7, they mostly form the ionic bond. For example, sodium chloride. In sodium chloride, sodium belongs to the group 1 and chlorine belongs to the group 7. In aluminium nitride, so in aluminium nitride, aluminium belongs to the group 3 and that nitrogen belongs to the group 5. Is it clear? So this is the trick to remember the bond present is ionic bond or not. The ionic bond must be established between the metals and the non-metals. Now, what are the properties of electrovalent compound or ionic compound? How can we identify the compound is your electrovalent or ionic compounds? We cannot see whether in this compound the ions are transferred or not. Suppose if I give you sodium chloride, can you tell me by seeing the sodium chloride whether sodium atom lost its electron or not? That is not possible. So how can we identify the compound is an electrovalent compound? By seeing certain property in it. What is the property? The first property is the state of existence. If the compound is crystalline solid in nature, then mostly it is ionic compound. Why ionic compounds are crystalline solid in nature? Because in ionic compound, the oppositely charged ions, they hold together by the strong electrostatic force of attraction. Hence, as it is held by the strong electrostatic force of attraction, so it is the solid in nature because the ions, they are closely packed. Now let us discuss another property, and that is the melting point and boiling point. The ionic compounds show high melting point. If the melting or boiling point of the compound is very high, then it is the ionic compound. Why the melting and boiling point of the ionic compound is very high? Because the force of attraction exists between the ions is very strong, because the force of attraction is electrostatic in nature. Hence, we need more temperature or more heat to separate them. Hence, the melting and boiling point of ionic compound is very high. Volatility. These are non-volatile nature because the bond force of attraction is very high. Density. They have high density. Due to strong force of attraction, compounds are closely packed. Hence, for a given mass of an ionic solid have a smaller volume. If volume is less, we know that density is what? Density is equal to mass per volume. When volume is less, it of course that density is high, because as they are closely packed, volume is less. So as the volume is less, what will happen? Then the density definitely become high. Solubility. They are soluble in water but insoluble in organic solvent, because water is a polar solvent. If you see that water dissociate to form your H plus ion and OH minus ion. As water consists of the charge in it, so H plus ion that helps to separate the positive and negative part of the negative ion present in the electrovalent compound. Hence, these are soluble in the water as well as polar solvent, but they are insoluble in the organic solvents like ether, benzene, kerosene, etc. Now, conduction of heat. This is the very good conductor of heat. But conduction of electricity. It is bad conductor in solid state and good conductor in the molten state and the solution state or solution in polar solvent. What is the reason why it's so different behavior in different condition? In solid state, these are the bad conductor. Why? Because for the conduction of electricity, we need free ions, or free ions are essential for the conduction of the electricity. In solid state, ions are held by strong attractive force and are not free to move. So, as there is a no free ion, so it cannot carry the electricity or electric current. That's why in solid state the compound in solid state the ionic compounds are bad conductor. In molten state, ions are separated due to the heat during the process of melting. So we can get the free ions as free ions are available and free ions conduct the electricity. So in molten state, ionic compounds are good conductor. In aqueous solution, the ions are separated due to the high electric constant of the dielectric constant of the water. What is dielectric constant, children? Dielectric constant is a force which helps to separate the ions present, or the force of attraction which helps to weaken the force of attraction and separate the ions present in the ionic compound. Hence, the ions are free now, and the free ion helps to conduct the electricity. So, in aqueous solution and in molten state, the ionic compounds are very good conductor. Now, another property is dissociation. Ionic compound dissociates to form the free ions. Ionic compound can dissociate by supplying the electricity. If we supply the electricity, they dissociate to form the positive ion as well as the negative ion. It can dissociate in polar solvent also. So, this is all about the properties of the ionic compound. So, hope all of you like the video. So, please don't forget to like, comment and share and subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe it and like it. Thank you. Thank you for watching.